Hello, this is DJS, coach of the Tentacle Pirates, and welcome to week 3 of PAC YouTube season 3. This week our opponent is gonna be RazorrClaww and his Galaxy Brain Golisopods. So I did face RazorrClaww before in other leagues, but this is the first time I'm facing him in a Wi-Fi battle. So let's have a look at his team. So his team has Titar, Salamence, Soaking, Fortress, Salazzle, Sandaconda, Passimian, Leafeon, Cryogonal, Bellybolt, and Oranguru. And the Terra captains of the Salamence, the Leafeon, and the Bellybolt. So we actually had Houndstone allowed in this league, but for some reason he got the Titar but not the Houndstone. Not that I am complaining, but yeah, he has like other mons instead. But so I definitely feel he's gonna bring the Titar because it was my Gengar completely most of the time. Maybe Salamence is probably gonna come, but I feel it will probably gonna be a special Salamence instead of a physical, since Dozo was most physical sets and he can just spam Draco Meteor on Dondozo because it will just ignore the special attack drops. He also likes using the Bellybolt, so that thing is probably gonna come. And I feel one of Sandaconda or Fortress will come just to set hazards. Salazzle has a pretty good offensive matchup against my team, so that will probably also come. And finally, I think maybe the Soaking just for some pivoting. Yeah, so now let's have a look what we are gonna bring. So this is gonna be the team I'm bringing this week. First off, we have our Dondozo. So it's just a standard set, max PDF just to take special hits from Salamence better, and like things like Salazzle and some defense and HP. We are running Liquidation and Crunch as our attacking move. Crunch is mainly to hit the Soaking, or it will just sit on us forever and then just rest Sweep Talk. Next up we have our Great Task, which is again max attack Adamant, Assault Vest, and we have enough speed so we can outspeed his fastest mon, which is Salazzle, after a rapid spin. And then we have dual stab with Headlong Rush, Close Combat, and Ice Spinner for the Salamence. The Salamence is probably the mon he's gonna Terra, so we'll have to scout out what Terra it is before we can hit it with Ice Spinner. Headlong Rush or Close Combat might just be better if it Terras to something else. Then we have our Ocean. So Ocean is gonna be our lead this week. So he's probably gonna lead something like Fortress and Sandaconda. So I'm just gonna lead with this thing and just get a taunt so they can set hazards up. Especially the Fortress. I don't think it's gonna be a mental herb. Because it can set toxic spikes, and I don't want my Great Task to get poisoned for getting a spin. So yeah, so this is gonna be a lead, and it's also pretty bulky on the physical side to take hits from like the Titar. We are Terra Poison, but I'm probably not gonna Terra this thing. It's just in case if we need it. Poison let us take on like Drain Punches or fighting moves from Passimian, and also like Sludge Bombs from Salazzle better. We're running Leech Seed and Giga Drain just for sustainability, and Ruination will chunk most of his team because many of them doesn't have any recovery moves, so just getting 50% is pretty good. Next up we have Iron Thorns. Finally I'm running a offensive Iron Thorn, so it's Dragon Dance 3 attacks with booster energy. So if we get a single D dance up, if he doesn't have any Scarfer, we're gonna outspeed like his whole team. we don't even need to go jolly to outspeed his fastest mon after a dragon dance. So the adamant will give an extra boost. So wild charge and rock slide is super effective, or like does shit ton of damage to most of his team. The only thing that resists both is the Sandaconda. So we are running a grass type Terra with Terra Blast to take care of the Sandaconda. That will also let us take like physical earthquakes much better, and it will also let us set up on something like the Berry Boat, which only has like grass and water type coverage. If I go Terra Water, then just Discharge or any electric moves will just do a lot. So yeah, we're gonna be Terra Grass, Dragon Dance, Wild Charge, Terra Blast, and Rock Slide, and hopefully you get a chance to set up. I think like just one on Dragon Dance is enough to like Oko most of his team. Next up we have our Screamtail. So this Screamtail is made mostly for a special summons. We can take like a choice specs Hurricane pretty well, and we're faster than Salamence, so we can just protect and get some HP back with leftovers, and then just wish and protect to get health back, and it will eventually miss a Hurricane or something. And I'm also faster, so I can also just hit it strong with a Dazzling Gleam. I opted for the double stab this week because I don't think I need any status moves, because he doesn't have like too many setup sweepers that I'm worried about for T-Waving or Perish Song, because like Dondozo handles most of his setup sweepers. So it's just gonna be double step. And finally we have our Gengar. This is a Focus Sash Gengar. So he has a Teeter, so it's definitely not good in this matchup, but still we just have it in case if the Teeter is weak, or then we can just KO it with a Focus Blast. And the other reason we got it is for the Toxic Spikes, because if it doesn't have any removal or doesn't bring the Salazar, Toxic Spikes is just free against his team. It will just go through a lot of his mons, and it will help Iron Thorns get KO much easier. So main reason for the Gengar is the Toxic Spikes. So yeah, so that is gonna be our team for this week. Now let's head on to the battle. So now we are in the battle. So his team has the Salazar, the Oranguru, the Bellyboat, the Sandaconda, the Teeter, and the Salamence. So I definitely didn't expect the Oranguru, so he brought it over the Soaking. The rest of the mons are more like what I expected. So I'll just go with my plan with leading with Ocean to Strop Rocks, and then go from there to see what he leads with. He's probably gonna lead with either the Teeter or the Sandaconda to set up rocks. So let's see what he wins. Okay, so he leads with the Sandaconda just as we expected. So I did put some speed EVs on my Ocean so it can outspeed the Sandaconda, so we just go for the taunt in case he tries to glare or set up rocks, and see what he does. He might just switch out expecting a super effective move. Yeah, so he switches out and it brings out the Salamence, so that's fine. You can just taunt it. And it's not intimidate Salamence, so this is definitely a physical Salamence, not a special one, so that's good for us. That's good to know. So I'm switching to my Scream Tail because I don't think it has a good way to hit the Scream Tail. He might just double into something else, but yeah, or he might just fire off a move. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he doubles out into the T-Tar. Okay, don't know what he expected me to switch into, but that's fine. Scream Tail is also, I don't think he's doesn't much worry about the T-Tar. At least it's not outgoing me with any moves. So at this point I just go for a wish and see what he plans to do. And he's gonna go for the heavy slam. That will hurt, but it won't knock us out. I'm not sure what investment that is because we are not much of a face def Scream Tail, and I don't know about its weight, so I've been not sure what the power is gonna be, but I just gotta protect and get the health back. And he's just gonna heavy slam again. I definitely feel like he's gonna expect me to switch into the Great Tusk, and he might just have some special moves to hit Great Tusk. So I'm just gonna go back to my Ocean. I think that is the safest best bet right now. So Lochin comes back in and he goes, yeah, he just goes for Hydro Pump. Yeah, he definitely expected the Great Tusk, but yeah, Lochin is just a better stuff for it. I don't think it gets any bug moves, so I'm just free to fire off a Ruination. It will just take 50% of whatever comes in. Yeah, so he brings back the Salamence again. So if you don't miss it, will just do 50% solid. Yeah, and it just does 50%. Sandstorm goes off, and it's not leftovers, so it's probably either boots or some kind of maybe an offensive item. I have no clue yet. So we are gonna go back to our Scream Tail again. I have still no idea what moves it has, so let's see. Yeah, so he doesn't double this time, so he's either clicking Roost or an offensive move. Yeah, I just click Roost, so it's definitely not a choice item. Yeah, so it's physical, most likely, since he's Moxie, has Roost. Yeah, so I'm free to click a D-Grim right now since he has probably not staying in, and he decides to bring out the Bellybolt because we do give it a Electromorph boost, but I do have two good switch-ins for this thing, so I'm not too much worried. So I definitely have to switch out into either the Ocean or the Great Tusk, but I decided to just scout first with Ocean because it packs the water type move that can hit Great Tusk. Yeah, so he just goes for a discharge. He don't do a lot, but it does get the para. So that's unfortunate because now we are not faster than Titar or Sandaconda. So we won't be able to get the taunt off if they decide to set rocks. But it is what it is. So now I can just fire off a Leech Seed. He doesn't have a grass type in the back. We can get some health back. He's probably gonna switch back to Salamence again. Yeah, he switches out and goes to the Salamence. So we get out of the para and manage to hit the Leech Seed. So we get some health back again. So yeah, we have to switch out again because yeah, Dwarving Breed does a ton, so we have to switch again. Yeah, I just switch back to Screamtail again, and he doubles again to the Sandaconda. Go to the Screamtail, so it can definitely set up the rocks right now, but there isn't anything that I can do, so I just go back to Ocean. I don't think it has a good way to hit Ocean, so let's see. Yeah, he just set up the rocks. Yeah, we have to go back to Great Tusk at some point to get these rocks out. But now I am free to fire off another Ruination or Leech Seed. He's definitely not gonna stay in. Yeah, he switches out. Back to Mens again. And yeah, we get off the para and manage to hit, and it does the 50% again. He's probably just gonna roost again, so I decide just to go for the Leech Seed. Oh, he withdraws. Well, that also works. And this time he goes to the Razor. So I need to weaken this Razor before I can go into Gengar and set the T-Spikes. So every bit of damage on this thing is good for us. So switching to this thing is the Dondozo. We are max PDF and have a good amount of HP. We should be able to take any hits pretty well, and I don't think it gets any grass moves, so it just goes for the wisp. That's fine, because we can just rest and get our health back eventually and get rid of the burn. He probably expected the great task, I guess. But yeah, so we also get some health back with each seed. He's definitely not staying in, but what he's gonna switch to? So yeah, he's not staying in. He's probably going to Berry Boat, and yeah, I decided to go with the double to Great Tusk. Berry Boat is definitely threatened by Great Tusk, so we'll probably just switch it out and I can get a free rapid spin off. Yeah, rapid spin is pretty free now. He doesn't have a ghost type in the back. Okay, so he terras the Berry Boat. That's great, because now we don't have to deal with the Terra Salamence anymore. Terra Berry Boat is probably better than Terra Salamence, and he's the Terra Grass. Interesting. So he's probably, this thing is dedicated for the Great Tusk, I guess. Yeah, we get the rocks off, we proc the Electromorphosis, not that it's gonna matter. He goes for the Muddy Water. We should take one, but yeah, we dodge it, so that's great. But even hit, we are AV, so we probably take a hit or two, especially he's quite defensive, it seems. So now we can just go for the Ice Spinner. That will do some super effective damage on this thing. Maybe we can two-shot it. And we go for the Ice Spinner, and well, yeah, this thing is pretty bug. It's probably max HP, max defense. We are not gonna be two-shotting this thing. Oh, and it misses another Muddy Water. That's unfortunate. But yeah, but now it's definitely just gonna slack off the damage, so I'm just gonna go for another Ice Spinner to put it a bit low. Yeah, we are not two-shotting this thing without a crit. Yeah, and it just goes for the slack off. Yeah, and with the 2 FTs here, I think it's out of range for a 2-hit from Ice Spinner, so it's definitely firing off an attack here. So I'm definitely switch out, and his moves are Discharge, Muddy Water, Slack Off, and something else, maybe Terra Blast, I don't know. But yeah, but Ocean would probably be able to resist all of those hits. Yeah, he just goes for a Muddy Water. Finally hits one, and it's not gonna do a lot to us. So we can't put a Leech Seed on this thing anymore, so we just have to go for the Ruination or Taunt. Yeah, so it has Soak, so he wants to turn me to a water type and then hit me with the electric move. Yeah, just go for the Taunt to stop it from slacking off. So now I don't think this thing OHKOs it, rather I can, if I can Ruination it to a low health, it will put it to Great Tusk range. But yeah, Discharge does a huge amount, but it doesn't OHKO us, and Ruination will put it less than 50% and into Ice Spinner range. Yeah, but I don't want to sack the snail yet, so I'll just swap in. Great Tusk is probably gonna go for Discharge, and I can, it's now in Ice Spinner range, so, and it's taunted, so it can slack off. So yeah, So we call the move, get in great task, and now I think we can do hit KO it with Ice Spinner unless he switches, of course, which he probably will. Maybe to Salazzle. That's the only thing that resists Ice Spinner in the back. But that was gonna be a risky move, but yeah. But as we said, every bit of damage on Salazzle is good for us, since then we can just set up the T-Spikes with Gengar that will help us take down this Berry Boat much better. Yeah, he switches definitely. And yeah, he goes to the Salazzle. It should still take quite a bit even though it resists. Yeah, that does a solid around 25%. And now we just switch back to a Dondozo. He might just throw an attack this time instead of a Wisp, because he knows our switch into this thing is the Dondozo. Yeah, he just goes for the Fire Blast and misses again. Unfortunate, his mons are refusing to hit moves today, it seems. I don't think he stays in, so I'm probably free to switch into something else. Yeah, so I decided to just go back to Screamtail. He's probably gonna go back to the Berry Boat, and I can wish my Ochian back up to health again. Yeah, he goes back to the Berry Boat. Yeah, this thing is definitely not doing much to Screamtail, so we can definitely get a wish off to our Ochian because he haven't soaked it yet, so discharge is not gonna do a lot. So we get the wish. He goes for the discharge. Yeah, it does only 40 damage. And we heal back 13 with the leftovers. Now I can safely go back to my Ocean and get its health back. Yeah, 49 should be enough to take any hit from it, since it doesn't have any super way to hit us even neutrally. So he calls the switch and goes for the soak. That's fine. We got our health back with Ochian, so we can just switch out again to Screamtail or the Great Tusk. Yeah, Screamtail is probably the best option, since discharge only does like less than 25%, so we are good. Yeah, he just goes for the discharge. He got the para. That's unfortunate, but it should be fine. Now we are slower than the Salamence, but probably won't matter a lot. Yeah, I'll just go for another wish. It will heal me back. He probably switches into the Salazzle, I assume, or just soaks me to do more damage. Oh, he goes to the Sendaconda instead. Well, so yeah, this wish is gonna go up. Now it can switch into a lot of things. He probably just set the rocks again. So yeah, so I decided to go to the great task, because if you just set the rocks again, I can just spin them out, and he's probably not doing much to a great task anyway. And he pulls out the hurricane wave. Yeah, that did a lot. That's probably max special attacks Anaconda. But we're still out of a range for a second hit, so I can just probably do shot it with Ice Spinner, and he still has to hit his hurricane. Yeah, so he hit the spinner, it does 50% solid. He hits the hurricane, it would put us low, but we won't die. He doesn't get the confusion, so he can just go for another ice spinner now. He probably switches out to something, or just sacks this thing. I assume he is gonna switch out, but let's see. Yeah, he switches out, probably goes to Salazar, maybe. Yeah, he goes to Salazar. Yeah, so this thing is gonna be pretty weak now. Yeah. So yeah, so we just go back into our Dondozo, not the Screen Tail. Yeah, he definitely goes for an offensive move again. Yeah, he goes for the Surge Bomb. Yeah, it does quite a bit, but still does not do it Goas, and it looks like it's Life Orb. So we will have to go for the rest now. And if the Surge dies to Life Orb, that will be probably the best, because then we are free to set up our Toxic Spikes. Yeah, it just goes for another Surge Bomb and loses some more life to Life Orb. And we heal up back with rest. Yeah, hopefully he sacks this thing, then we don't have to worry about switching to Ice Spinner anymore. Yeah, he doesn't. He's probably going back to the Bolt again. Now, this is the only time I wish that Siptok doesn't get any offensive move. Hopefully it just gets rest, so I don't proc the Electromorph. Yeah, it gets rest. Good. Yeah, we'll have to switch out, going back to Ochin again. He probably just goes for electric move. He decides to double. He goes back to the T-Tar, so we don't worry about the T-Tar with Ocean. I have not sure what he expected. Yeah, we go back to Ocean. Now we are free to fire off a Ruination. Most likely it's the best move now. Yeah, just go for Ruination. Yeah, he's switching out. He doesn't have a good way to hit me, definitely. And back to the Salamence. Oh yeah, unfortunately we are full parad, but that's fine. Still have no idea what moves this Salamence has. It only clicked Roost till now, or have just switched in and then doubled out. He definitely goes for the Roost again, so yeah, so each seed is pretty free. Yeah, we get parried again, unfortunately, but that's fine. So I think it's the time for him to fire off an attack now. So since he's physical, I'll just go to Dondozo. The Dondozo is in here and he shows the dual wing beat, and yeah, it doesn't do a lot to Dondozo. Sandstorm, I think there's two more turns of Sandstorm, I guess. Yeah, we can just burn one more ship turn now. He's probably going, oh, he just goes for another attack. I thought he's gonna go back to the belly boat, but we'll just, if we manage to get a move, we'll get some damage on this thing. Yeah, be careful because it's not too much, but it does quite a bit. We get a defense drop, but it doesn't matter since we are unaware. I still can go for another move before we need to rest, but he decides to switch out probably to the belly boat because Salazar doesn't give a hit. Yeah, he goes to the belly boat. Ryoka go for a crunch. Yeah, it does very little and just proc his electromorphosis. Time to switch back to Chain again. Whatever he does, it's not gonna do a lot to us. At this point we are just trying to stall out its PP, I guess. Yeah, he goes for the discharge. Yeah, you can just fire off another ruination now. Yeah, and while he goes for the soak. We'll do 50, yeah. Now is the time. I think now he's probably gonna go for the discharge again. So I can either switch in back to my Screamtail since we know that doesn't do a lot to Screamtail, or I can just switch into the Great Tusk and then try to get this thing down. We might predict a switch to the Great Tusk, but yeah, we need to make some progress at this point. Well, unfortunately he calls the switch, knocks out Great Tusk out. And this thing is still pretty healthy and the Salazar still isn't knocked out. But now I know that he can't hit Iron Thorns super effectively anymore. I mean, he can't even hit it neutral if we go for the Terra. So I'm just gonna take this opportunity and go for the Terra. So we're just gonna Terra and Dragon Dance. We got the attack boost from Booster Energy, so hopefully at +1 we can Oko it with a Rock Slide. If he goes for the Muddy Water, that is best, but if he goes for Discharge and gets a Para, that will be very unfortunate. Yeah, so we managed to get the dragon dance off. Now we should be in a pretty good position unless we get a para. He just goes for the soak, and unfortunately it doesn't work on Terramons. So now I think we're in a good position to just roll his team. I don't know about the Oranguru, what type of Oranguru this is, but yeah, Rock Slide is our only move that we can hit this thing. Hopefully it KOs and we we are short on the KO. He's definitely gonna discharge. Hopefully it doesn't get para. Yeah, it does a chunk, but yes, we don't get paralyzed. So now we can just knock this thing out, and if we can knock out the Oranguru, we should be fine to knock out everything else. Yeah, I could have didn't risk going for Wild Charge or Terra Blast since those are resisted. How fat this Bellyboat is, I wouldn't be surprised if it managed to live by some. So yeah, let's just go for the Rock Slide. Okay, now let's see what he brings in. I think at this point he's have to hope the Oranguru leaves a hit. Yeah, so the Oranguru comes in. I probably doubt to foul play, or it can also just trick room up. So I'm just gonna go for the strongest move I have, which is Wild Charge now, and hope it knocks out. And yeah, so we get a clean knockout on the Wild Charge. Yeah, so I think we just sweep with Iron Thorns at this point. I don't think he has anything in the bag that can take a hit anymore. The Sandaconda is below 50%. Teeter dash to super effective. Terra Blast, and this thing definitely dies to a Rock Slide or a Wild Charge. And since he's not intimidated, that's also better for us. We don't have to worry about a roll. So yeah, if Wild Charge KOs, we don't need to risk a Rock Slide miss. So I was just calculating at this point if a Wild Charge KOs Salamence or not, and I think it does at what range he is in, even if he's I think max HP or something. So yeah, just go for the Wild Charge, no need to risk a miss, and yeah, it just drops. The Teeter comes in. So in this matchup, we definitely showed we are the better version of Teeter. Oh, and he withdraws. Don't know what that accomplished. He just probably just wanted to get the sand up to get some chip, but I don't think that matters. So he sacks the Salazzle to drop to this Terra Blast. Yeah, it was at like what 2-3 HP. Anyways. Teeter comes back in. It should knock this thing out unless it's like Sash or max. I didn't give max defense skills at this point. Yeah, it just drops. And finally the Sandaconda. So it did a whole lot of damage to our Great Tusk with Hurricane, so we definitely have a lot of special attack investment. That means this we definitely get this thing up. Yeah, so we knock out the Sandaconda, and that's gonna be that for week 3. We get a 5-0 win against RazorrClaww. Our Iron Thorns obliterated his whole team. GG's to RazorrClaww, and we'll be back again for week 4. Bye.